Hey everyone, welcome back to Hearthstone. Today I am showing off a new Boomsday Project Mech Hunter deck. This deck was posted on Hearthstone by Will Pone. I've covered a few of his decks before. They're always really good, actually. And this is no exception. This is a very fun Boomsday Project Mech Hunter deck. First one I played in the expansion, and it's a ton of fun. I actually have about a 70% win rate with this deck. It's pretty hit or miss. I played a lot of aggro, and this is kind of aggro-y, so you kind of have to out-aggro them. But the key cards, there's a ton of key cards. Most of this is made up of new cards. The key stuff is the new magnetic interaction. Let's just go find someone here. Spider Bomb. You know, if you play it to the left of the card, it'll attach to a mech and take on its death rattle and stats. So really the key is to get a bunch of little boom goblin bombs. Don't have any in the deck, you just get them from loads of cards. And you use cards like Spirit Singer Umbra and Necromechanic to trigger those death rattles, which deal 2 damage to your opponent multiple times and right away. So it works really well. And if you can't do that, then you can just kind of buff them up with things like Skaterbot or Venomizer or the Bronze Gatekeeper or Spider Bomb. You can summon a bunch of them and then do Void Ripper to instantly kill them all. So there's a lot of different options in this deck. I don't know how good Ziliax is in it. He's kind of cheap, I guess. I already had him. I probably wouldn't recommend crafting him. I actually had every single card in this deck already, so I didn't have to craft anything for it, which is probably why I chose to play it first. Flark is pretty good, but you can probably even live without him because you've got 2 Explodinators, which also summons the bombs. So I'd still hold off on crafting things, at least until the meta's settled down in a couple of weeks. But enough talking, let's take a look at a few games. Alright, we got Fedora Lover the Mage for our first game here. Keep hold of Venomizer, because at the very least it's just a little body you can drop onto the board on turn 2, or even coin it out. And then it can go right into, you can put a Spider Bomb on it, we can put a Bronze Gatekeeper on it. Flark, obviously we don't need it for many, many turns. So already I'm predicting turn 1 Mana Worm, turn 2, you know, what goes in Aggro Mage? Arcanologist or Sorcerer's Apprentice or maybe Primordial Glyph. And there you go, there's the turn 1 Mana Worm. Took the entire opening turn to think it up. So Mecharu's a decent play, because when it dies it'll still leave us a 1/1 mech on the board, which we can put a Venomizer on, we can put the Gatekeeper on, we can put Spider Bomb on all next turn. Unless he plays like Arcane Missiles, I guess. But yeah, it's crazy, like the expansion has literally just come out when I recorded this, but it's the same day that it came out. And so many of the people I played against, in casual, mind you, not ranked, because I'm trying to play these fun new decks, just playing the same old decks. Just aggro Mage, aggro Hunter. Let's get the Spider Bomb on this guy. Bam. So now he's a 3/3. When he dies, he destroys a random minion, which works out very well there, actually. That's a nifty little board clear for just 3 mana. Fireworks Tech is a key card in this one. It gives a friendly mech, I think it's 1/1, and also triggers its death rattle if it has one. So those are really great to use on the little goblin bombs. Okay, just card draw, that leaves me free to play probably Whirly Glider and equip the Goblin Bomb. No, we're still only on turn 3. But yeah, just Whirly Glider is a great, great play. You get 2/1 for 2 mana, and then you get the little Goblin Bomb as well, which next turn we can start to buff up. We can either give it the shield, or we can Firework Tech it, which will do 2 damage to the opponent, and also give it Venomizer. There's the Mana Worm, and Cinderstorm, which will almost certainly clear the whole board. Hey, another Whirly Glider though. We'll probably just start buff yet. And do the damage. Not bad. So you can see there's tons of ways to get these little goblin bombs in the game. And they add up. They do their damage. I did make one change to the deck. The original deck recipe had 2 trackings. I took those both out for Cybertech Chip, which I thought were just a little bit more fun. It's a spell, you play it, all of your friendly minions get Death Rattle, add a random mech to your hand, which I thought is pretty fun, and you run out of hand very quickly with this deck. So having the Cybertech Chip, you usually get a lot of shit mechs. But sometimes you just need stuff in your hand. So there we go, there is a pretty beefy little goblin bomb. Obviously you could use Void Ripper on this guy to make it a 10-4. It's not the intended use for Void Ripper. Wow, look at that. Luna's Pocket Galaxy from Primordial Glyph. Chill, it's okay. Nice little poison, and that is a very good board for us here. Get the Necro mechanic down. Death Rattles will trigger twice. So you can see it really starts building up pretty quickly. I don't know if it's worth putting a second Necro mechanic in. I haven't found I've needed it yet, but maybe in future games. It's pretty essential for this deck though. So that is going to do 4 damage to him. Bam. So we could have actually had lethal there if we'd done Void Ripper. We'd have turned the Necro Mechanic into a 6-3, and that would have just been lethal. But I wanted to play the legendary. I wanted to play Boommaster Flark because I've never played him before. And we're pretty set anyway with the hero power. Aggro Mage can't heal. There we go. Yeah, a little bit of BM, because fuck you if you play Aggro Mage in casual, pretty much. That's my thoughts. Okay, that was a quick game, so let's take a look at another one. Alright, there is another Mage. It's probably also Aggro Mage. I guess that's what you... I mean, like I was thinking that's what you do if a new expansion comes out and you really want wins. You just take an old deck that works well and play against people who are trying to play fun decks. But this is casual, like you don't really need the wins in casual. Okay, luckily this is just Elemental Mage probably. So this is a good starting hand. We'll get our first Goblin Bomb down. If he survives, we can Spider Bomb him. Which will make him a beefy little bomb. Beefy little bomb boy. Okay, not bad. So yeah, Spider Bomb? Hell yeah. So I do find it weird that, like, you saw I was kind of like hovering over the Goblin Bomb, trying to attack with him. Because most interactions in the game, if, like, say you give a minion charge or rush, it'll show up before the animation's finished, but not with these magnetic things. I don't think that's clear at all. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. But like I thought I would have been able to click on him and attack with him before the magnetic animation had finished. So maybe those need to be sped up, I'm not sure. There we go, bam, 2 damage. Ooh, he obviously didn't read the death rattles. So this is already pretty good. Let's get some more bomb boys down. And another Mecharoo. Obviously all these games are in casual. I just think they're the best place to test out these decks. And obviously I record all my testing games, just in case we get good ones. I got quite a few good ones. So always check the Hearthstone page that I'll link in the description for, you know, whether they're good for ranked. They'll probably be changed by the time these videos come out. So there we go. Now all of these boys on the board are going to give us random mechs in our hand when they die. And as you can see, our board's, like our hand's pretty empty already. So it's gonna work out pretty decently. Except we got a pretty bad mech for the first one. Bulldozer. 9 mana. Probably not gonna get there. But yeah, it's a really good way to just kind of replenish your hand, even if sometimes the mechs are crap. That was not bad actually, that's a taunt. Okay, let's beef our bomb boys up. Just gotta check their death rattles. So that's actually gonna also give us a card in hand. Yep. So you can see it pretty quickly gets out of control. Because obviously, you know, if your opponent's got these 0-2 bombs on the board that deal damage when they die, they're probably going to avoid attacking them. But the whole point of this deck is to buff them up so they can attack as well. So your opponent's pretty much forced to kill them. So a ton of the damage in this deck is just coming from those little death rattles. Oh yeah, look at that hand. Him poisonous. That's a pretty decent little taunt just to have down. And we're pretty much set here, I think. That should be lethal. We've got lethal with hero power and our bomb dying.
When Earth moves, empires fall.
Actually, we can't get through just yet. No, we can. Yeah, we can pop the shield. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, we have no way to kill our bomb boy. It's like there's bomb toss. That's lethal.
Well played.
Not bad, right? Didn't even lose health that game. Pretty fun deck. Okay, let's take a look at one more game, because these were both pretty short. Alright, we got a Paladin here. Totally expecting it to be aggro Paladin, odd Paladin, whatever. But I did it. I have actually saved the best game for last. This is a pretty good game. So good opening hand. We can get a bomb boy down on the board, turn 2, and then buff him up with a spider bomb, turn 3. Okay, past turn 1. So we can either do a loot hoarder or we can do bomb toss. Probably bomb toss just to get the mech down. There's our first little bomb boy. And Paladin comes up with...
Let me think.
With... nothing.
Access denied.
Hell yeah. Another guy trying out new cards. My man. My man, Roblaze. So I think we're still going with Spider Bomb. So at this point I knew I was in for a pretty fun game. If he's got one mech, he's probably gone for like a Mech Paladin kind of thing. So we should be able to have a pretty good back and forth kind of mech exchange here, mech exchange. Crystology. So in my card pack opening video, I did predict that would be mostly used for, was it Divine Protector? The little 1/1 with Taunt and Divine Shield. But obviously there's a couple of neutral mechs like Mecharoo and Skaterbot. I have those in my deck. So could they, you know, if he's playing mechs, they're probably in his deck as well. This guy's very methodical about his turns. Okay, we've got so many options here. Skaterbot, I'll just put him up to 3 attack. We could have Venomizered, we could have bomb tossed him. There was a lot going on in that hand.
Access denied.
Okay, so he's just played it down as a taunt. That's his second one. Can he buff it even more though? Okay, so we can get rid of it pretty easily. I figure I'll keep hold of the Venomizer because I might need the poisonous effect later. And we can just chip away with the hero power a bit. So it's a good enough board. We've got the 2 bombs down. We can get 2 more next turn with our Explodinators. In fact, we can get 2 more down with the Explodinators and probably play Cybertech Chip. Just to give us shitloads of mechs in our hand. Yeah, the Mechano Egg. So like on its own, I figured that would be kind of a crap card. With so many magnetic things, you can make that a pretty terrifying card. Because obviously it gets an 8/8 when it dies. I just figured it would be super susceptible to silence, but obviously this deck doesn't run any silence. It's just poisonous, pretty much. So, good thing we kept hold of that Venomizer. But yeah, now we've got four Boom Boys, or the Goblin Bombs, and they will all give us a random mech when they die. So there you go, that is a pretty spooky card there actually. And there's the Righteous Protector like I predicted. So Spark Engine is actually pretty much perfect to get rid of that. There's Umbra, which is a good part of a big Death Rattle combo with the Goblin Bombs. Shame you can't play that and Flark in the same turn. But you can always try prepping like Umbra first and then do Flark afterwards.
My shield for Argon.
So that will get us nicely through. Yeah, like Spirit Singer Umbra plus Explodinator. It's pretty decent, that's 4 damage with a lot on the board. And we're already kind of threatening lethal here. Okay, so yeah, we've still got 6 damage with their Death Rattles on board, plus the 8 damage that's on board. There's another Crystology. He's still got 2 cards from it. The egg is still pretty terrifying, but it's not quite an 8/8, whatever it is, Mecha Dinosaur. I love that we got the Nightmare Amalgam as one of our random mechs. I guess like you can use magnetic things on him, which is pretty funny. Okay, now we're in business. Necromechanic. All Death Rattles are going to trigger twice. So here's the plan. Trade most of the board into the egg. And then Venomizer, Poisonous, kill whatever comes out. But we'll attack first just in case it's Noble Sacrifice, which it is. And obviously all of the Death Rattles are going off twice right now, which is just huge damage. It also triggers the Spider Bomb Death Rattle twice, which got rid of 2 random minions. It's also triggering the Cybertech Chip Death Rattle twice.
Converting stored energy.
So our hand is just full. Oh, that's not even my Ziliax in my hand. Totally missed out when I recorded it, but yeah, that's just a random Ziliax we got. So yeah, pretty great deck. Next turn, pretty much, we don't have to do anything. We can just play Spirit Singer Umbra. Look at all those Goblin Bombs. Yeah, we can just play Umbra plus Explodinator, which would be 4 damage, I guess. Oh no, we've still got Necromechanic, so it'll be 8 damage. So let's just make sure we got room. Bam. Isn't that great? Man, I'm so happy with that game. I love that game. We got to do all kinds of fun things. So I'm pretty sure this video showed off pretty much everything from this deck except for Ziliax. That's why I said we probably don't really need it. But anyway, this is a very, very fun deck. Really, really good to be able to use a ton of the new cards. It's got so many new cards in it. So that is by Willpone on hearthpone.com. I'll have a link to the deck code in the description and also a link to the Hearthpone page. He's got a great write-up on there. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!